Everybody, this is Max Miller, and as ever, I am the voice of the radical center. All I care about is anyone in D.C., Republican or Democrat, doing anything for the average working man or woman. Now, speaking of the average working man or woman, hey, you know what? I guess, if you're in the market for a private jet, and I know you are, right, John? I mean, you've got two already, right?
Well, actually, I never got my white privilege check.
You know who actually has a private jet? Is Dan, my producer, because he's a very wealthy individual. Because when you run a radio station, they can these suits, they can do pretty much what they want. But I'm here to help everybody out there because the Republicans and the Democrats, for that matter, may not be helping the working class get a decent tax break.
Wait a minute. Politicians aren't helping the little guy?
No, they're not. But they are helping you so I actually found this fascinating. Now, it was in the World Socialist Journal. So it may have, which WSJ,
Wall Street, credible source.
Wall Street Journal. So
each according to
it was WSJ.com.
According to his G5.
Yeah, so the WSJ, I assumed for the longest time stood for World Socialist Journal, but apparently it stands for Wall Street Journal. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is good news for you guys out there in Radioland, who obviously being very smart people, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to me. Donald Trump, when they signed these changes, I didn't know this, one of the minor things they changed was allowing you, if you're in the market for a jet, as you are, John, you can now afford two. You can actually now write off 100% of the cost
Look, that's
of
the
plane.
middle-class tax cut.
That's the middle-class tax cut right there. So it used to be, here's how it used to work, right?
So what's the price point for a middle-class jet?
Well, I think a couple of mil.
Well, from Obama's pay czar, who is actually denying private sector CEOs private jets
I don't feel sorry.
Tax credit.
I don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for them one bit.
Reversal of force.
So here's how it works, right? Here's how it works, John. So I know you want to know how to do this. Before, when you bought a plane, you could deduct 50% in the first year. So I guess if you bought a jet for 10 mil, I guess the starting price of a jet.
A chicken in every pot?
Yeah, exactly. Instead of a chicken in every pot, it's a private jet in every hangar.
Ford isn't as sexy.
Yeah, forget a Model T. We can get the jets now. Anyway, so before it used to be, and here's an example of one fellow here who bought a used, poor guy. He had to buy a used jet. He had to buy a used jet for $2 million, right as the new tax law was going into effect. And he said the timing was impeccable because now he could write off 100% of the $2 million. Or, here's the other way to look at it, he can now afford to buy a $4 million jet.
Well, look,
and write off the two.
Let's play devil's advocate for a second.
I'm so happy.
Middle class income, the median did go up for the first time in 10 years. So from like 60 to 65. So I really,
just to be clear, it's gone up from 60 to 61. And this is basically where it was 10 years ago.
I think it's 65.
No, go ahead, man. Prove me wrong.
Okay.
Go ahead, look it up.
All right.
I'm willing to learn.
It went up, and it was in
from where it was 10 years ago.
Yes, it was. For the last 8 years.
It was.
Yeah.
From where it was 10 years ago.
What's interesting about that bill, though, is it's not just Republicans. Liberal Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown out of Ohio supports that bill.
Oh, well, if you can afford to buy a private jet, why wouldn't you?
What's he doing?
Democrats
so I'm going to ask Michael Devine. We have Michael Devine online. Michael, are you there, Michael? I'm getting Dan to earn his keep today. Are you there, Michael?
I am, sir. How you doing?
Hey, Michael, how are you? So we're going to talk to you about, I want you to introduce yourself. We had you on last week. It was great, so we invited you back. But I want to ask you, are you going to buy a jet now?
I'm honestly, I thought you were going to buy it, because technically your show is the greatest show that's ever really been.
Well, if it was Donald Trump speaking,
timeshare.
Get that guy a mug.
Unfortunately, you don't get a mug because you're not here in Austin at the Max Miller studio. But so it's good to know actually that while we can't afford, we're going to talk to you about sending kids to school, or rather the ramifications of paying for it. And I'll set you up in just a second. But I did want to just make it very clear, actually, Michael, that you can actually afford now to buy a jet because, hey, you got 100% deduction. So in your practice there, you can actually do it. I mean, it should make you feel really good about yourself that you can buy a jet.
Honestly, I did not know that. I woke up this morning worried about how I was going to afford my private jet.
That's it.
Now I know it's a write-off. I can tell my wife, babe, it's a write-off.
Exactly.
This is why college is so important.
This is why college is so important.
You have to get a private jet.
Because you have to get a private jet because 100% of taxpayers' money, let's not forget,
And it can't be a
That's-
former public jet. It has to be a private jet.
I don't know.
It-
Some hand-me-downs. If you get the Saudi King's private jet, I mean, he got rid of his. So
Did he?
Yeah,
Well,
that
he-
second-hand jet is one
the-
I would love to have.
But that was a 747.
I mean, it has a
Wasn't
throne,
it?
it has a throne on it.
well, no, Donald Trump would love that. If it's
well,
got a
I
throne.
don't think he's that obvious. I mean, he sits on a golden toilet.
He does
but,
sit on a golden toilet
you know.
with his gold phone.